What's going on, guys? This is Coach Snoop back in the building with another one. As usual, it's going to be jam packed full of jewels. And your time is always appreciated because you could be doing anything but you hear me checking out these reviews, man. And as usual, it's another wild one. It's about a man fatally strangled his wife, and she was pregnant, and then he tried to cover it up. Let's check it out.
Tragedy starts Monday when police say they got a 911 call from Lee Gilly saying his wife overdosed. He found her unresponsive and tried to perform CPR. First responders rushed to the home off Austin Street. Detectives say Gilly's wife died at the hospital. Doctors found Krista Gilly had bruising and apparent trauma to her face. Her autopsy ruling out suicide and instead proving she was strangled to death. The results also revealing she was 8 weeks pregnant. Gilly was arrested 4 days after his wife's death. Christian 10 is a defense attorney not affiliated with this case. He says Gilly's movements after his wife's death and before his arrest will be pivotal for this case.
Look, man, it's crazy because, you had to strangle your wife for whatever reason. And there really shouldn't be any reason that you should have to strangle your wife, and especially a fatal one. Now she's to where she's not breathing no more, and on top of that, she was pregnant. So, in my opinion, he strangled her, and he had to black out a little bit too, and then he came back to after, and it was too late. And then he tried to cover it up because, like they said, they found the marks on her throat and bruising and all of that. Anyway, you already know what I'm gonna talk about: mental health, physical health, spiritual health, decision making, man. And this is not the best decision to be making, bro. Arguing, and you already know it started over an argument or something. Like all fights with the wife start over probably nothing. They didn't say anything about cheating or anything, so who knows what they were arguing about. But what we do know is that it was an argument. It's, people just argue with their women, which it doesn't make any sense because you're not gonna win an argument, and it's gonna drain you of your energy though. Like you got to be more mentally aware than that, man, to be able to, especially a pregnant wife, walk away, bro. Go do something, come back. We all know their hormones be all off balance, especially when they're pregnant. So they're gonna be extra moody, and you got to be able to deal with that. He probably wasn't able to deal with that, and he wasn't even thinking like that logically, rationally, spiritually, none of that. Physically, he choked her out, and then when he thought about it, he called the police and he lied to him because he didn't know what else to do. So they uncovered that quick though, and that's a example of why arguing with your woman is stupid, and you shouldn't do it if you can help it because it's only going to drain your energy. And some women actually get off on draining your energy from arguing with you, getting a rise out of you for God knows what. So just avoid it.
Show Gilly later admitted his wife was not suicidal and not a drug user. Prosecution is very much.
Now, of course, she probably wasn't no drug user because she was pregnant. And, some women probably smoke weed or something, have a little sip of wine when they're pregnant, but that's about it. We all know there are some cases of women, having babies on drugs and all that. But for the most part, women that's pretty much in their right mind, they stop smoking and drinking and all that when they find out they're pregnant, or they do it when they're about to have a baby, or well enough before they're about to have a baby, because they do drug test a mom and they will take the child away. So 9 times out of 10, she wasn't using drugs. The guy just man made a mistake, bro. He wasn't thinking. That's why it's so important to be logical, man. Be rational. Be calm. Be patient. And if you know you can't do those things, that's why it's so important to move around, man. You got to. Don't put yourself in the worst situation by arguing, and then when you do argue, you stop thinking rationally anyway, and you start trying to win an argument or and things like that, and then one thing leads to another. Now you made a decision that you didn't want to make, and on top of that, it might be such a bad decision that there's no coming back from that. And so that's why it's so important not to argue with your woman, man.
Going to tell a story as to whether or not was he really acting as though someone who was mourning, who was really sad about what transpired, or was he really acting as someone who had consciousness of guilt, someone who was really trying to hide something or preparing to escape.
Could the suspect be facing a double murder charge? How does this work out?
So basically, under Texas law, the DA's office has procured a capital murder charge, which basically takes into account the death of the unborn child. Under the circumstances, the killing of the mother and the child are both taken into account with this charge.
The Houston High.
See, in that type of situation, man, you see all the things that they weigh out. Was he really remorseful? Was he trying to cover something up? Capital punishment. She was pregnant. All these charges you racking up when you are in your feelings, man. That's why it's so important to stay out of them. There's nothing in there when you go there besides more bad decisions and making stuff more messed up than it already was for yourself, man. Are you going to have emotions? I talk about this all the time. Yes, you are. Because if you weren't supposed to have them, then you wouldn't have no emotions. At the same time, are you supposed to control those emotions? Yes, you are. So you don't end up doing things like this, man. Going off the deep end, man. Mental health, that's why it's so important. Spiritual health, believing in something, staying grounded, being conscious, that's why it's so important, man. Physical health, knowing you're stronger than your wife. It don't take that much. It didn't take that much to really choke her out. And then now she's unalive, bro. That's why it's so important to be aware of that. And decision making is so important because the decisions you make affect you and everyone around you. And then he just messed up 2 lives, the daughter or whatever the baby was and the mom at the same time, bro. So just stay at your feelings. Don't argue with that chick, man. Go find something to do until you calm down and you're able to deal with her again.
Association posted on Facebook that they do plan to hold a vigil for Krista Gilly on Tuesday. Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
All right, man. So it's Coach Newt, man. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you're digging this kind of content. And your time is always appreciated because you could be doing anything but you're here with me, checking out these reviews. And until next time, I'm out.